At the end of 2020, the first fifth-generation supersonic Su-57 aircraft was delivered to the Russian troops. This is about 2 years later than the planned date. The fact of violation of the deadline is extremely important, so we focus on it. Now, the military department of the Russian Federation announces a promising MiG-41. The project is at the stage of development activities, and judging by the stated goals, it will be a sixth-generation aircraft, which is hard to believe. The new Foxhound should replace the legendary MiG-31. These veteran interceptors have an extremely important task now. They are patrolling the skies. For example, 4 MiG aircraft are now reliably covering over 1,000 kilometers of the northern border. However, the lifespan of the MiG-31 interceptor fighter is coming to an end. There is very little time left to develop and fine-tune the new aircraft. Given the history of the Su-57, the operation of the MiG-31 is likely to be extended. In mid-November of 2019, the Kinzhal missile launched from the MiG-31K was successfully tested at a distance of 1,000 kilometers in the Arctic. The aircraft essentially worked as the first stage of the missile, which eventually developed a mind-boggling Mach 10. It is almost impossible to shoot down such a hypersonic object. Still, the age of the Russian fighter interceptor shows itself, especially in the light of the latest news from Russia's geopolitical adversaries. The United States, China, and the United Kingdom are developing their projects of a sixth generation of multi-purpose fighters. The aircraft on the verge of technological progress. France and Germany even join their efforts in this direction in order to keep up with the Allies. The United States is now the closest to the goal with the implementation of the NGAD, Next Generation Air Dominance Program. The U.S. Navy will be the first to receive the F/A-XX aircraft. The sixth-generation carrier-based fighters will replace today's F/A-18EF Super Hornet and EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft. An aircraft carrier with an aviation group, which will include sixth-generation fighters, is capable of controlling vast spaces, including the air. That's why the Russians are in a hurry. Russia simply has to act in the circumstances dictated by the geopolitical situation. Therefore, the MiG-41 is not a myth, but an urgent need. What will it look like? To create a promising interceptor, the Advanced Long-Range Intercept Aviation Complex program was launched. The second name of the project is MiG-41. The engineers of Mikoyan and Sukhoi were involved in the creation. Analysts who know the anatomy of the Russian aviation industry fear that the designers who are used to competing will not get along within the framework of a common project. Bullshit. This sixth generation of fighters is a development on the verge of the capabilities and achievements of world technical progress. No one can do this task alone. For the record, the United States are also joining the efforts of 3 corporations, and these guys are recognized masters of project management. First of all, the new Foxhound must inherit the outstanding qualities of its predecessor. These are speed, high survival rate, and reliability. They should also radically resolve the stealth issue. It should be noted that the MiG-31 was the fastest interceptor among competitors. It is still on top. The maximum speed of the modernized aircraft is about 3,000 kilometers per hour. The fact is that the Soviet and then the Russian strategies for the development of aviation and rocket science always move toward maximum speeds. Hence the success of the Russians in developing hypersonic projects within the framework of the critical technologies concept. Meanwhile, the Americans have always bet on stealth. Let us recall their stealth technologies, which are now being implemented everywhere, on land, at sea, and in the air. It seems that the time is coming when these two competing and largely divergent strategies are now overlapping. The expectations for the American F/A-XX are both stealth and hypersound. The MiG should have the level of stealth of the 5th or 6th generations of fighters in addition to a speed of more than Mach 4. Stealth remains one of the major requirements for a superfighter. Monowing, smooth contours, and conjugation of airframe parts, the absence of vertical tail, variable wing design, use of composite materials, alloys, and special coatings. All of this makes it difficult to detect an enemy radar object. A promising MiG will accelerate to Mach 4 to 4.3, and a series of measures will be taken to reduce the possibility of detecting an aircraft in the radio, infrared, and visible ranges, due to the improved means of electronic warfare. This is one of the factors of the survival of a combat fighter. As for reliability, Russians have no equal in that. Their planes traditionally have fewer parts, which means fewer vulnerabilities. In addition, Russian military equipment is a priori created for harsh operating conditions. For example, the MiG-31 and its modifications, unlike the American F-22, are capable of using ice runways and are perfectly adapted to perform tasks in Arctic conditions, when the temperature reaches minus 55 degrees Celsius at the maximum altitude. Therefore, the same reliability is expected from the next aircraft. The creators of the MiG-41 have been assigned a specific task. The aircraft must be adapted for operation in the Arctic. As you can see, it's about the Arctic again. In addition, they want to teach the new Foxhound how to destroy space objects, for example, enemy satellites, which are involved in coordinating the actions of the Navy and Air Force. In any case, the near space is another anticipated space for carrying out combat missions. And now the more interesting thing, the weapons. The total combat load of the MiG-31 equals 9 tons. The creators of the new Foxhound will try to keep this figure as well, of course. Although many strategists argue that in modern air combats, it is not the quantity of ammunition that is more important, but the quality of weapons. Russian engineers are likely to be actively consulting the military on this issue, especially in light of the successful creation of hypersonic missiles, in which the Russians have the advantage. On the other hand, in modern air combat, the lead aircraft is provided with cover and coordination by drones, and it is inappropriate to waste expensive missiles on them, so you can't do without a proven GSH cannon. For the record, the GSH-623M cannon, which is installed on MiG-31 aircraft, shows itself perfectly at extreme altitudes and at low temperatures up to minus 60 degrees Celsius. It is possible that a modified version of this cannon will be installed on the upcoming MiG. Russian military also has the unique GSH-301 ballerina cannon, which got its nickname due to its extremely low weight of 44 kilograms. Although the Russian aviation already has missile systems suitable for the new aircraft, it is possible that a new missile complex will be developed for the new Foxhound. Representatives of the Russian military department announced the development of a multifunctional long-range intercept missile system, capable of intercepting enemies' hypersonic missiles. To barrage at an altitude of 25 to 30,000 meters in an economical mode, and then to accelerate up to Mach 4, you need a fundamentally new glider and engine. Therefore, when developing the PAC-DP, its predecessor is not considered as a base. This is a completely new technology, which once again casts doubt on the timing of the project. About 200 MiG-31 aircraft, which are in service with the Russian aerospace forces today, will have to be replaced. Technically, the backlog is already progressing. Ilya Tarasenko, head of PJSC Sukhoi Company and Deputy General Director of PJSC United Aircraft Corporation, promised that the design of the new MiG will be formed by the end of 2019. However, things aren't moving. Due to the mismatch between the projected timing and the real state of affairs, there are different kinds of opinions that the MiG is buried. Only its name will remain, and the Su-57, which at least is real already, will be the base for the MiG-41. Hopefully, this will not be the case. We would like the history of interceptors with a good history to continue. To keep an eye on the situation with the new Foxhound, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell. The timing situation is aggravated by the market futility of the new Foxhound. After all, aircraft are created not only for the country's needs, but also for the export. Russia is trying to keep the traditional markets for Soviet weapons in every possible way. But the fact is that long-range interceptor fighters are relevant for the countries with long borders. There are not many such countries in the world besides Russia, and those that exist have their own technologies. This means that the MiG-41 is a heavy burden on the military budget of the Russian Federation, without any prospect of paying off on foreign markets. This is most likely why the Su-57 was recognized as a more promising project at the time, and the work on the MiG-144MFI project, which preceded the PAC-DP, was put on hold. Engines are another big problem that affects the timing of the PAC-DP project. and the development of the entire aviation industry in Russia in general. For example, the delay in the delivery of the Su-57 happened because of the new engine. In the specifications of the United Engine Corporation, UEC, it is recorded as Product 30 of the second stage. This is a completely new unit, developed from scratch, and it's not ready yet. Therefore, the first fifth-generation Sukhoi aircraft will be equipped with the AL-41F1 power plants. The state contract for the supply of 76 aircraft, which will fully equip 3 regiments, has already been finalized. Another 14 planes will go to Algeria. But neither this engine nor the second-stage power plant system will be suitable for the interceptor. It is an aircraft turbojet engine with an afterburner and thrust vector control. The AL-41F1 engine differs from its donor, with which the Su-35S is equipped with an increased thrust force due to the new turbine. Modifications allow the Sukhoi to accelerate to Mach 2.45. New electronics improve consumption rates and optimize operating modes. For the record, the developments in the field of artificial intelligence carried out during the creation of the Su-57 will come in handy for the new MiG, but it still needs a different power unit. Given the characteristics of the future MiG, which were announced by the Russian military department, there is no longer time for its creation. To make it in time for the MiG-31's retirement, the prototype should be tested this year. The development of the engine and the aircraft is a whole complex of know-how on the verge of technological capabilities in various fields of science, technology, and weapons. In short, we're about to see an exciting technology race. You can always receive up-to-date information about all the new weapons of geopolitical adversaries on our channel.